Good afternoon, folks. It's April 1st, 2020, and this isn't an April Fool's joke. We might have some recession in this country, and in order for you to get through that, let me go through a couple things that will help you. When the economy contracts and it affects your cash flow, your personal cash flow, either by a loss of a job, reduced hours, loss of business in your small business, loss of income by any other means, you own rental property and the tenants can't pay. It's up to you yourself to find the way out and get this through this as soon as possible. And you can do that. The government's not going to bail you out. They'll bail some people out, but if you're not a big company, see how long it takes and how much you get. Your employer is got to look out for their business. They're trying to survive just like you're trying to survive. It's not personal if they cut down your hours or let you go. Your tenants, if you own property, they're going through this. This is a nationwide thing. Obviously, they only have limited resources, and they're going to pay for food first and security. So you might see a reduction in your rent roll. So these are all things you have to consider. But the things you have to do is look within. And sometimes when things have been so good, we kind of just put things on the back burner and do some things in our business, our personal life, and we don't manage them correctly. And when this happens, we get so busy we just say, we'll do that then, we'll do that next month. But it never happens. So what you should do right now is excuse me, have a simple sheet. Write down in one column your assets. Now this isn't just, physical things, but skills you might have. Other liabilities. And you want to see where you stand right now. This will keep you busy. Don't be watching the news and getting depressed and what's going to happen in the next month or two. Be proactive. If you follow me for the next 5 minutes, it's going to save you a lot of stress, and it will get you where you have confidence in yourself. So you write down your assets in one column, your liabilities in another. Your assets could be, okay, this is what I have as far as savings, income, and assets. Liabilities could be, this is what I'm going to have to pay in the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days. And go to the minimum payments at this point. Don't be trying to pay extra anything off unless you have not been affected and your cash flow is the same. And if you've been positively affected, try to spend more money and get it in the economy. Help the people around you that you've done business with and try to give them business. So you write down where you stand right now, including your skills. What can you bring to this market? Or maybe you've been in a job that you just got reduced and your hours got lowered. But you said, for the last 5 years, I want to get out of this. I want a new job. I want to try something else. Now's your time. Now is your time. So write down your debts, everything you owe, every monthly payment, and take the minimum and put it in one column. Also, go do a good audit of your own spending in the last 3, 6, 9 months. Do you have things in your checking account that are coming out every month, subscriptions, and maybe you have something that gets renewed automatically, or something you're buying that you don't use? Now is the time to cut those things out. Okay? Cut those out. I see them, I cancel stuff, and 3, 6, 8 months later, it starts going back on my checking account. And my accountant comes back and said, did you renew this? I said, no. I go, I don't even know what that is. So you got to do an audit of your checking account or your debits every month and get rid of what you don't need. Look at your income. Maybe it's been reduced, or now you got to substitute it with something else. Write down things that you can do to make extra money. Remember, we're not talking that you have to do this forever. Just to get through now. Do what you can. I mean, a lot of people are doing a lot of stuff that they would never do. We're not judging you here. Nobody's judging anybody if they're just doing something they have to do to survive. So you want to look for ways to improve yourself also at this time. Time to improve yourself. Now is the time to learn a new skill. Not sit and watch CNN and get depressed hour after hour. Now is the time to be positive. Say, you know what, I want to learn this new software. I want to spend time on this hobby. I don't need income right now. I want to learn something. Improve yourself. Improve yourself. If you need extra income, explore the ways you can do that. I know if you go from having a suit one week and you have to deliver the pizzas the next week, yeah, it could be a crushing thing on your ego. You just got to let that go. Everything is temporary. This recession is temporary. You'll get through it. Everybody will get through it. Just keep safe. Be positive. Make contacts. Network. And you don't know if you say to one person, you might have a skill somebody needs right now. But you got to expand your network, talk to people, and see what you can do to add income if you need it. You know, if you run into issues with rent, there's going to be rent forbearance for programs, and I have rentforbearance.com. But I'll say a couple things on this. For rent forbearance, remember it's not a rent holiday. You're not going to, if you don't pay your rent, it doesn't mean you don't owe your rent. You have to pay it. If you can pay it, pay it. That should be, besides food, that should be the next thing you should pay. Look at that and say, okay, you got to communicate with your landlord if you can't pay it. You got to structure something where it's agreeable to both of you. I know, hey, if you're down to zero and you're waiting for a government check, it's going to be tough, but that's the conversation you need to have with your landlord. Have that with your landlord. Keep things in writing. If you have an agreement, write it down, have both of you sign it, both of you date it. If it's like, okay, I'll pay this, the outstanding amount, put the amount in and how that's going to be paid, the dates it's going to be paid. If you can't do that, you got to notify them right away and modify the agreement. You can't just make an agreement and then say, oh, I can't do this, and then don't contact them. No, if you need to change something, and don't change it just to see what you can get away with. Do what you can. Sell what you got. That's one of the things when I said we got to do our own personal inventory. Every one of us has stuff somewhere that we don't need. And physical objects. Stuff that we bought, we never used. Stuff that we got in storage, we haven't seen. Take that stuff and either find people that are in need, really struggling, and give it to them, or sell it. The less stuff you have to carry through this, the better. It's like me losing an extra 20 pounds. I feel a lot better if I did that. Well, it's the same with stuff. You have a lot of stuff you want to maintain or worry about or store, get rid of it. You feel better after it's gone. Getting back to if you have a mortgage payment. If you have a mortgage payment and you think you're going to be not going to be able to mortgage payment, keep that line of communication open with your lender. The programs are going to be changing daily, and they probably may be different in different areas. But mortgage forbearance. You don't want to do this unless it's your last resort. You know, if you can sell some stuff to keep the next payment paid, sell something and keep the next payment paid. You want to push that back, keep kicking the ball down the road until the mortgage forbearance is your last resort, if you need it at all. If you get an extra 30 days or 60 days by selling something, sell it. That does a two-prong approach to improving you. You got rid of something you really don't need. You made that choice, and then you stayed out of forbearance. If you have to go into forbearance, you got to get it in writing, just like the rental forbearance or the eviction forbearance. Get it in writing, get it dated, and have the agreement so you know what it is. And you got to live up to your end, and they got to live up to their end. That's what with a position. You don't want a verbal. You don't want to get on the phone with somebody that doesn't have the authority to make an agreement with you, and then find out, you know what, they didn't have the authority, and you've been thinking that that's going to be your cure. If you run into somebody that's really, has decided, you know what, I don't have any alternatives. I'm going to have to foreclose. I'm going to have to do a short sale. Look up my website, preventforeclosure.com, and I will see if I can get you some resources as far as what's the best way to proceed. It's different in each state. The foreclosure proceedings are different in each state. You might want to negotiate a short sale with your lender if they will. I work on short sales and foreclosures almost every single day. So I wish you all the best. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We'll all make it through this. Don't bite, the old saying is, how do you eat an elephant? Well, you eat it bite by bite. Go day by day. Go day by day. Set yourself into an action plan and do the little things. Get rid of the stuff you don't need. Find new paths of income. If you want to improve yourself, now is the time. Now is the time. If you were in a job you really hated, now is the time to really educate yourself. You can educate yourself as much as you can, with online resources and begin to make the change. Sometimes we need to be forced into stuff to make things happen. And a lot of us now are being forced into stuff. So make things happen. I wish you all the best. I'm not a YouTuber. Please hit my like button or subscribe button if I have one. Thank you.